Hi Year 9, Mrs Spicer here. Hope you are all well and staying safe. I have been asked to speak to you today about your options process and more specifically if you were to choose history as a GCSE option, what this would entail. At Beacon Hill Academy we have chosen the AQA GCSE over other exam boards as we feel this specification enables students to study different aspects of the past so they can engage with key issues such as conflict, understanding what drives change and how the past influences the present. The course is assessed by two exam papers, Paper 1 and Paper 2. Paper 1 is 2 hours long and includes a period study which you can see there as Germany, Democracy and Dictatorship 1890 to 1945 and a wider world study, Conflict and Tension 1918 to 1939. Both these papers are an hour each, making up 2 hours, which is 50% of your overall mark. Paper 2 has a similar format in that it is 2 hours long, making up the other 50%, and that includes a thematic study, which is Britain, Health and the People, and a British depth study, which we can see there as the Norman, England 1066 to 1100. As you can see from some of these topics, from your Key Stage 3 lessons you will see that there are some really clear crossovers and you will probably begin to understand why we covered some of the units that we did at Key Stage 3. For example, the Conflict and Tension unit looks at the Year 9 topic of the Treaty of Versailles in lots of detail. Another example is the Norman England topic. We can all see that year 1066 is an important one, and in Year 7 you spent some time looking at the Battle of Hastings and what happened directly before this, and as a consequence of this that fits in with that really nicely. And also again there is some work in Year 8 and in Year 9 where we do look at the difference between democracies and dictatorship, and then in Year 9 we look at Hitler in a bit more detail, again another overlap with Paper 1. And not to leave out the British depth study, which is Britain, Health and the People. You may remember in Year 8 that you looked at some medicine aspects when you were looking at the Tudors, and this overlaps with this quite nicely. And just some of the key skills that are boasted by this specification I've just wrote down here for you. So you will develop skills such as excellent communication and writing skills. You will learn and build on your Key Stage 3 skills of constructing an argument. You will research and develop problem solving skills, and you will be able to analytically look at sources and pieces of evidence and interpret them. So if you have enjoyed history at Key Stage 3 and are thinking about taking history at Key Stage 4, you might wonder where that would lead you following your Key Stage 4 exams. People who study history are fearless explorers of the past. They investigate past politics, societies, cultures, languages, health, art, education, money, conflicts. They are able to look at how things have developed over time and connect the dots to understand how we got to where we are today. And I think this is more important than ever for us to be able to develop these skills. And that leads us quite nicely into where can history take you. So I've just wrote down here some post-16 courses that some of our learners have gone on to study at A level at college. So we've got here, you can see history, economics, classical studies, history of art, and even further if you go past post-16 looking towards degree level, you can study things such as archaeology. And I've just enclosed this for you just to refer back to so you can see some of the careers that this could lead you into. So the main careers that history can take you to are law, publishing in the media, education, hospitality and tourism, the public sector and the consultancy sector. In the history department, we pride ourselves on our high expectations of both the learners and of our staff. You won't find Key Stage 4 too dissimilar to Key Stage 3 as we have been embedding key skills since Year 7. So you will be equipped to answer GCSE style questions as this is what we have been doing with you over the past 3 years. However, Some misconceptions of history are that you always learn from a textbook. This isn't true. We are very lucky in history in that we have had all of our textbooks renewed and updated over the last 2 academic years. So we don't use old-fashioned boring textbooks. When we do use them, we have got, as you can see in the bottom left there, those nice brightly coloured textbooks who have actually been published by one of the history teachers at another one of our DAT schools. However, our staff as well, we do try and incorporate the collaborative learning. We like to have debates in class. We use online resources such as GCSE pod and history homework in lessons. So there is a wide variety of tasks and exercises that you will be asked to take part in. I've put some pictures of a learner's work here just so you can see some examples: source analysis, essay writing, fill in the gap exercises, and of course those blue marking tabs which you will be used to using at Key Stage 3, which help to develop your exam skills further. And I've also included a picture of a typical history classroom just so you can see that we use the boards to reflect and to help us with tasks during the lesson.
I enjoy history because it allows me to learn about the past in our country and where new improvements of technology and architecture come from. I enjoy both learning about the development of medicine and the tragic stories in both world wars.
I really value the analytical skills that history has given me. It means I can now summarise key points and adapt those to answer questions effectively. I think it clearly shows how our past has shaped us and how it still continues to affect us today, and that's really interesting for me.
Hi, I'm Evie. I picked history as an option 3 years ago, and I'm going to tell you why I think you should do the same thing. I think history is so enjoyable because the topics that you cover, they have such a wide spectrum that there's always something that everyone's going to enjoy in picking it. You go from studying Britain, Health and the People, which is a study of medical advancements and treatments throughout time, to studying the Anglo-Saxons and the famous battles around that time, like the Battle of Hastings, to then conflicts and tension, which is all about the build-up to war, the interwar years, and obviously the wars themselves. Then finally Germany, which is the study of Hitler's build-up to becoming the biggest mass murderer of our time, and obviously the effects of the war on Germany. I think history is such an important subject to pick as it allows you to develop so many important skills like analytical skills, which will help you in applying to colleges, exam questions. It's completely so valuable for the future.
Why do I enjoy history? I enjoy history because I can develop an understanding of the world that we live in and how lucky we are to have the society we have today, but also see why we're so lucky to have this society. I like testing my own moral strength, seeing how my moral judgment contrasts to the moral judgment of leaders of the past. But I think the reason why I enjoy history so much is that each person can explore the how question and the why question in such different ways that in a class of 32 people, you can get 32 individual interpretations of events through discussions with just people in your classroom, let alone anyone outside of your classroom.
I hope that you have found this presentation helpful and it has aided you to make a decision as to whether history is the right subject for you. For any further questions, please email them to the helpline at Beacon Hill Academy.